The entire ranch is stunned. No one can figure out what's going on. After CEO Jack suddenly put all his company work on hold, just to measure every inch of land behind the house. He called in excavators, construction crews, and heavy machinery at the crack of dawn, turning the whole place into what looks like a major construction site. Everyone is guessing, is Jack building a warehouse, expanding the farm, opening a new workshop? But no, they're all wrong. The truth shocked everyone. Jack is secretly launching a special project just for Tien, a plan so private that not even the people living with him knew about it. And the real reason behind this sudden decision will definitely surprise you. If you're watching this right now, don't forget to hit like and subscribe so you won't miss what happens next. Out into our eyes, that morning, everything around the little house felt clearer and fresher than any day before. The first rays of sunlight warmed the metal roof, slipped through the leaves, and cast a soft golden glow on the vegetable beds, still holding tiny drops of cool dew. In the distance, a rooster crowed to welcome the new day, blending with the soft rustling of leaves in the breeze. A faint hint of firewood from the backyard drifted through the air, the kind of familiar, peaceful feeling any young couple would love to have in their home. Inside the small, tidy kitchen, Tien was carefully stirring a pot of rice porridge. The low flame kept it gently simmering, and she moved the spoon smoothly to make sure it didn't burn. Every so often, she added a pinch of salt or a bit of finely chopped perilla leaves, filling the room with the familiar smell of a simple countryside breakfast. Everything she did felt natural, a routine she'd grown into ever since moving in with Jack. She never felt tired waking up early to make him breakfast. It was her happiness, her way of telling Jack, "I'm here, and I want to take care of you forever." Outside in the yard, Jack was holding a measuring tape and a sketch he drew late last night. He walked slowly, measuring specific spots, checking the slope of the ground and testing the soil with his shoe. Every move he made showed focus and determination, as if he was preparing for the most important project of his life. And to Jack, it really was the most important project, not because it was big, but because it was for Tien. When she noticed he was still busy working outside and ignoring breakfast, Tien stepped onto the porch and called out, "Breakfast's ready. Come eat while it's hot." Jack looked up. Under the morning sun, his smile seemed warm and genuine. "I'm coming. The sun's really bright today, huh?" They sat together at the old wooden table. It wasn't fancy, but it had always held warm meals and happy moments. Tien served him a bowl of porridge and asked softly, "You must be hungry. It's still hot. Eat while it's warm." Jack nodded, took the spoon, and tried a bite after blowing to cool it down. "This is really good. The perilla smells amazing." Tien smiled a simple smile filled with love and contentment. After a moment, she asked, "You're really not going to the company today?" Jack set the spoon down, his eyes serious but full of excitement. "Nope. I took the day off to fix the yard. The workers are coming early. I want to replace this muddy ground, grow grass, and pave the walkway. It gets slippery when it rains. I don't want you getting hurt. It worries me." She looked at him, her eyes sparkling. "I'm not good with this stuff. But whatever you think is best, I trust you." Just those simple 4 words, "I trust you," gave Jack all the strength he needed. Because every bit of this plan, every stone, every blade of grass was for her. As they continued eating, Jack shared more. I want the whole yard covered in fresh green grass and a stone path so you won't walk through mud. Then maybe a row of flowers in front of the house. The more he talked, the more excited he became. We'll have a little gazebo too, so we can sit outside in the afternoon and drink tea. And maybe an outdoor kitchen, so you can cook whatever you want. Tien's eyes widened. That's a lot of work. Jack laughed and rubbed the back of his neck. Yeah, but if we're doing it, let's do it right. Once it's done, everything will be safer and nicer for you. Sometimes a single sentence from a man is enough to show just how much he loves someone. After breakfast, Tien got ready to head out to pick corn she had arranged with a nearby farmer. Before leaving, she said, "I'm going to get some corn to dry later. They saved some for us." Jack quickly reminded her, "Make sure you wear a hat. It's sunny already, and call me if you need anything." Tien put on her hat, grabbed the glass of water Jack handed her, and slipped into her sandals. "You're cute in that outfit," Jack teased, half joking, but half serious. She giggled. "I'll be back soon. If you're still hungry, go ahead and eat more. Be careful." Jack replied, his voice gentle and caring. She stepped out the gate, her small figure walking down the dirt road lined with sunlit trees. A simple sight, but beautiful in a special way. Jack watched until she disappeared from view. Then he took a deep breath, turned back to the yard, and whispered to himself, "Come on, Jack. Today's the day." Today wasn't just another work day with the construction crew. It wasn't just the day he fixed up the yard. It was the first step toward bringing their simple but beautiful dream to life. Once Tien stepped outside the gate, Jack stayed there for a long moment, watching her small figure grow smaller and smaller on the dirt road leading toward the cornfield. He always knew she was hardworking, but every time he saw her rushing off to handle something, he silently reminded himself he needed to work harder. He needed to build her a better life than this, a life where every step she takes is clean and safe, and every corner she lives in feels warm and protected. He took a deep breath and looked around the current state of the yard. Under the soft, honey-colored morning light, everything looked rough and messy. The vegetable beds were flattened by the last rain, scattered in no particular order. Muddy patches forced them to wash their sandals and pants every time they stepped outside. The dog's makeshift wooden kennel leaned to one side after last night's wind. Rocks and uneven gravel covered the walkway, making each step shaky. This place held memories. Both he and Tien had cared for it together piece by piece. But Jack knew it couldn't stay like this anymore. Not when they were about to become a real family. He pulled out his phone and looked at the design he stayed up late finishing. Tien had no idea about it. In his sketch, the future garden appeared neat and welcoming. White stone pathways curving from the gate to the house, just like her soft smile. A wide patch of grass in front of the porch, where she could plant her favorite flowers. A small wooden gazebo under a vine-covered trellis, where the two of them could drink tea in the afternoon. An outdoor kitchen where she could easily cook the country-style meals she was so good at, and a more spacious and leveled area for a new vegetable garden, one she could freely turn into her own little world. Just imagining her happy in that garden gave him even more motivation. Right at 8 a.m., Jack called the construction crew. Only a few minutes after he hung up, the rumbling of heavy machinery echoed from outside the driveway. A yellow excavator rolled in, kicking up a cloud of dust. Behind it came a truck loaded with tools, shovels measuring stakes, leveling string, and 4 strong workers. The crew leader walked up and clapped Jack on the shoulder. "Big project today, huh, Jack?" Jack smiled a little shy, but very genuine. "Yeah, it's for my future wife. I want everything to be nice for her." The crew leader laughed the kind of laugh from someone who knows love very well. "When it's for your woman, it's gotta be perfect." "We get it." No more words were needed. Everyone jumped right into work with a good mood. Jack walked them around, pointing out each area he'd marked: stone path over here, grass there. The vegetable beds will be moved to that side, and the doghouse goes behind the house from now on. The crew jotted everything down. That's quite a bit to do. But with this sunshine, we'll move fast. Jack pointed to a low spot in the yard. "This part collects water easily. Can you build it up about 12 inches higher? I don't want it to get slippery when it rains. If she falls, I'd feel terrible." The leader nodded, eyes softening with respect. "Yeah. When it's for your girl, you go extra careful, huh?" Jack didn't answer. He just smiled. Every reason he had was already in his eyes. The excavator lowered its bucket. Boom, boom, boom. Each scoop of dirt lifted away the old, messy parts of their life, making room for something better. The crew smoothed the ground with practiced ease, fast and precise. Jack couldn't just stand there watching. He took off his jacket, rolled up his sleeves, and helped push the wheelbarrows, tossing aside big rocks to prepare the next layer of soil. Sweat formed quickly on his forehead, but he kept smiling. One of the workers joked, "Careful, Jack. You're going to take our jobs if you keep this up." Jack laughed. "I just want it done faster. So when Tien gets home, she'll see something good already done." Everyone understood that was a man in love. Later, they moved to the old vegetable garden. Jack stared at the last patches of green, the small onions, perilla leaves, and herbs she had carefully tended every day. His expression softened. He brushed his fingers over a dew-covered leaf. She really cared about these. But it's okay. They'll have a nicer home soon. The crew leader asked, "Pull them all up?" Jack nodded. "Yeah. We're saving the best space for the future." The workers gently removed the vegetables and tied them into bundles, like little memories being packed away, waiting for the right time to be planted again. By nearly noon, the yard looked completely different. The low areas were fixed. The spots for the outdoor kitchen gazebo and pathway were marked with bamboo stakes. The whole place already looked cleaner, brighter. The crew leader stretched his back. "We'll wrap up this part in about 30 minutes and take lunch. Then we'll hit it again this afternoon." Jack replied, "Great. I'll make lunch for everyone." The man grinned. "If your future wife is the one cooking, we're spoiled today." Jack just smiled again, glancing toward the road where Tien had disappeared earlier. All he wanted right now was simple: for her to come home and see the yard already beginning to transform and smile. The sun grew hotter, but the wind carried the scent of fresh earth sunshine and hope. Jack stood in the middle of the yard and breathed deeply. In that moment, he didn't see dirt and construction anymore. He saw the future, a future where Tien would laugh more, enjoy life more, and walk confidently across every step he built with love. Everything started this morning, a beginning just like any other day, but one that meant everything. Because today, Jack wasn't just fixing a yard. He was building a home, a better life for the woman he loves with all his heart. As the afternoon slowly faded, the sunlight over the yard shifted a little more, every minute, bright gold turning into a warm honey shade. The air carried the familiar heat of freshly dug soil mixed with dust and the scent of uprooted grass. It felt like the start of something big. The workers were still leveling the ground, the sound of the excavator, consistent like the heartbeat of a small construction site behind the house. Then from the end of the dirt road, Tien appeared, with a heavy sack of corn slung over her shoulder, collected after an entire morning working under the sun. Jack spotted her first. He set his shovel down immediately and walked toward her, with that warm smile she knew so well. She dropped the sack, took a breath, and smiled back, sweat still on her forehead, but her eyes bright as ever. Jack quickly updated her on the progress. Half the yard was flattened, the old vegetable garden moved to a temporary spot, and the dog kennel placed behind the house to make room for the small gazebo he planned to build. Tien looked where Jack pointed. The garden she once tended was now just bare soil and leftover roots. A brief sadness crossed her eyes, not for the plants, but for the time she'd spent caring for them. But the smile returned quickly. She understood exactly what was happening. Jack was changing everything for their future. Without Jack saying a word, she headed straight to the kitchen. Soon, the little kitchen came alive with familiar sounds, water splashing into the pot, the knife tapping on the cutting board, vegetables being peeled. She prepared a large pot of bone broth with taro for sweetness, braised pork, and stir-fried greens, plus a bowl of fish sauce with garlic and chilies. Sweat rolled down her cheeks, but she didn't care. Taking care of the people she loved was something she never saw as a burden. Outside, Jack kept glancing toward the kitchen, reassured just by knowing she was there. He helped the workers non-stop moving rocks, marking measurements, carrying water, always making sure things were done right for her. Near noon, the workers took a break. Tien set the food out on a mat inside, and Jack helped carry each dish. The men came in with big smiles. Nothing beats a hot meal in the middle of a tiring day. They dug in comfortably, laughing and praising her cooking. Tien blushed, but looked happy, and every time they complimented her, Jack looked at her with pride, like he was silently saying, "That's my girl." Lunch was filled with casual jokes and easy stories from different job sites, the kinds of conversations that made the house feel like a warm home. When the workers returned to the yard, Tien cleaned up and laid the corn out under the sun, still keeping an eye on Jack from a distance. Jack continued checking everything, correcting small measurements, making sure the plan stayed on track. He looked over and saw Tien stacking the corn neatly, a few dust marks on her shirt, her hair tied high, exposing her delicate neck. He couldn't help but smile, love written all over his face. She stood up, stretched, and glanced at him. Her eyes held a quiet trust. As long as Jack was there, she felt safe. He had thought through everything. He was building a solid future for both of them. By late afternoon, the yard looked much closer to the dream. The soil was smooth bamboo markers lined up straight to show where the stairs and gazebo would go. Seeing the first signs of their future take shape filled both of them with quiet excitement. But then, during a shift of materials, The excavator paused. The bucket had hit something. The driver got down confused. Beneath the freshly turned dirt, a wide piece of metal was visible, a rusty hinge buried under the soil. When one of the workers tapped the metal with a shovel, the hollow echo didn't sound like dirt at all. Jack's expression changed. Surprise, confusion, a little uneasiness. The workers suggested pausing that area until Jack decided what to do. He agreed. His curiosity was rising fast, but he wasn't going to push his luck without knowing what they were dealing with. He tried focusing on other tasks, but his eyes kept drifting back toward that metal hatch. A strange chill crept through him, like something long hidden was finally trying to be found. When the crew finished for the day, they thanked Tien again for the meal and headed out. It was just the two of them now. The wind blew gently through her hair as she looked around the yard, cleaner, neater, filled with hope. Jack watched her with relief. As long as she was happy, he had all the strength he needed. Dinner was warm and peaceful. They talked about the work done and the plan for tomorrow. But sometimes, Tien noticed Jack staring outside. His eyes weren't the same as earlier. They held a question he couldn't shake. She tilted her head slightly, asking softly, "Is something bothering you?" Jack snapped out of his thoughts and forced a smile. "No, I'm okay. Just a bit tired." But she wasn't convinced. A woman's intuition sees more than words. She didn't push further. She simply placed her hand over his. "If something happens, tell me. Don't keep it to yourself." Night came fully. The world outside was quiet, only insects and rustling leaves filled the dark air. When Tien fell asleep, Jack lay awake, unable to shake the image of that metal hatch. Finally, he slipped out of bed, put on a jacket, and stepped outside. The moonlight cast a cold glow across the yard. Jack crouched next to the hatch, fingers tracing the hinge. He pushed lightly. Nothing moved. The earth held tightly, guarding its secret. Behind him, the door creaked open. Tien stepped out, holding the door as the wind pushed it. She watched him for a while before speaking, worry in her voice. "That's what's been bothering you all afternoon, isn't it?" Jack exhaled slowly. He didn't want to hide things from her, but he didn't want to worry her either. Not when he didn't even know what was under there. He walked toward her, gently placing a hand on her shoulder. "There might be something down there. I'm not sure what it is yet. Tomorrow, I'll take a closer look, and I promise, I'll tell you everything." She looked into his eyes that had never lied to her. She nodded softly. They stood there together, only a few feet away from the buried hatch. Something that could change everything. Jack held her hand, fingers tightening slightly. Maybe her hand was trembling. Or maybe his was. The cool night wind carried the scent of fresh soil. The darkness seemed deeper above that one spot. A dog barked somewhere far away, then silence again. Neither of them said a word, but both of them knew. Tomorrow, this wouldn't be just a yard renovation anymore. A secret had awakened beneath their feet. A door was ready to be opened, and once it opened, no one knew how their lives would change.
quay trở lại